It's Vlogmas Day 8. I'm still trying to figure out which way is the best way to face with this tree. Because I want pretty much just the tree and me, but it's hard to figure out where the best view is with crap lighting in my house. Day 8 is where? Day 8 is on Jasmine. Okay, cool. Jasmine, who are you more or less thinking about? She's thinking about Mulan. Huh. Again, I could see that being a good friendship pairing. I could see Mulan and Jasmine being friends. Mulan, Jasmine, and Tiana all being besties. Hello again. It's time to don... Ow. Just whacked myself with the antlers. It's time to don the antlers again. Because today I am reading Alice in Wonderland, A Present for the Queen. The White Rabbit has lost the Queen of Hearts Christmas present, and heads will roll if he doesn't find it. Alice sets off into Wonderland to help with the search, meeting some familiar faces along the way. Alright, so let's begin. It looks like Christmas, Alice said, gazing out her parlor window one cold December afternoon. Snow sparkled in the fields and on the branches of the pine trees. Outside, children were building a snowman. Alice thought about joining them, but the parlor was so warm and cozy. Alice yawned. Perhaps it would be best to stay in after all. I'd stay in. I would definitely stay in if it's cold. Suddenly, something hopped across the snow in front of Alice's house. It was a rabbit, with white fur wearing a red coat. Alice sat up, startled. "Why, it's the White Rabbit from Wonderland," she cried. It's lost, the White Rabbit wailed as he hurried past the house. Like in the last video, I'm sorry if I stumble over words, or just say them wrong. Not the best at reading, though I do like it. I'm very bad at it. Alice quickly put on her winter coat and ran outside after the White Rabbit. She caught up to him just as he was about to dive into a hole under a tree. "Not so fast," Alice said. "Why are you running away? Whatever's wrong this time?" "Oh, you must let me through," the White Rabbit cried. "I've lost the Queen of Hearts Christmas present. If I can't find it, she'll have my head." "Oh dear, that would be awful indeed," Alice said. "Perhaps let me help you find it." But the White Rabbit simply dove down the hole without saying another word. Alice followed the White Rabbit. Down and down and down she fell until she landed with a thump. Alice saw the White Rabbit's fluffy tail disappear through a door. She hurried after him and found herself on a snowy path lined with evergreen trees. The White Rabbit was gone, but Alice could see his footprints in the snow. She made her way down the path, admiring the lights on the trees. Then she noticed something. "Why, they're fireflies!" she exclaimed. So what's the lore? Because didn't she have to go through quite a lot to get into Wonderland itself? With, the drink and the cookies? I don't know. The lore's crazy, man. All at once, the footprints stopped. "I've lost him again," Alice said with a sigh. "Lost who?" someone asked. A toothy smile appeared in one of the trees, followed quickly by a purple striped cat around the smile. "Cheshire Cat," Alice cried happily. "Maybe you can help me. The White Rabbit has lost the Queen's present, and..." "But that's a lost what?" the cat interrupted. "I thought you said a lost who?" My brain might be lost, but Alice frowned. Usually, she quite enjoyed riddles, but she always had such trouble. Same. Always had such trouble explaining herself to the Cheshire Cat. I didn't lose a what? She said. The White Rabbit did. And now I've lost him. Suddenly, the Cheshire Cat disappeared. I can't help you with your lost who, he called out, but I can help you with your lost what? Try the Mad Hatter. Alice looked around. She knew the Hatter wasn't on the path behind her, so she continued forward. Soon she heard music. Deck the halls with bowls of jelly. Foo-loo-loo-loo-loo-loo. Alice emerged in a clearing. The Mad Hatter and the March Hare stood with their arms around each other singing. They stopped when they saw Alice. Alice, the Mad Hatter cried, come join us. We're singing Christmas heralds. Christmas heralds? Alice said, confused. Do you mean Christmas carols? What does carol have to do with it? The March Hare said. Everyone knows Harold wrote all the best Christmas songs. Did he? Depending on, I guess, who you ask. And with that, the March Hare and the Mad Hatter began to sing again. Oh, Christmas tea, with milk and cream we drink thee. But that's not how the song goes at all, Alice said. And anyway, I don't have time to sing. The White Rabbit lost the Queen's Christmas present and... Suddenly, the Mad Hatter jumped in front of Alice, holding a teapot and a teacup. Cold cocoa, he offered. Don't you mean hot cocoa? Alice replied. This reminds me of a riddle, the Mad Hatter said. Who keeps your head cool in the summer and warm in the winter? A hat, of course, Alice said. Now please, I need your help finding the Queen's present. With a twinkle in his eye, the Mad Hatter took off his hat. Sitting atop his head was a large wrapped box, and laying on the box was a teeny, sleepy dormouse. There you are, the Mad Hatter said, grabbing the dormouse. And there you are, the March Hare said, handing Alice the present. Oh, thank you, Alice cried. Now, if you'd be so kind. But the Mad Hatter and the March Hare wasn't listening. They had burst into song again. On the first day of Christmas, my best friend gave to me a steaming pot of lovely tea. And we're coming to the part of the book where it does not want to turn the page. Shaking her head, Alice left the clearing and made her way through the trees. She saw that the White Rabbit's footprint had reappeared. Alice didn't want to lose tracks again. She carefully followed them all the way to the Queen's castle. As she approached the gate, the Queen's guard grabbed her. The Queen's got a reward out for your head, one of the guards said. Yeah, because she's wanted. The guards brought Alice to the throne room, where the White Rabbit was busy apologizing to the Queen. I'm sorry, Your Majesty, he said. I had your present, and then I lost it. Off with his head, the Queen shouted. No, cried Alice, breaking away from the guards. The present isn't lost. I found it. The Queen glared at Alice. Off with her head, she yelled. The King coughed quietly and placed his hand on the Queen's arm. Perhaps you should open the present first, dear, he suggested meekly. The Queen eyed the present. I suppose I could, the Queen said, tearing off the wrapping paper. Her eyes lit up as she pulled a small Christmas tree from the box. As the Queen of Heart admired her Christmas gifts, a large grin appeared in the air next to Alice. Now might not be the worst time to slip away, it said. Alice nodded and quietly sneaked out of the room. As soon as she was safely out of sight, she began to run. but she slipped on a patch of ice and hit her head. Everything went black. Oops, she's got a concussion. When Alice opened her eyes, she found herself back in her parlor. She yawned. "What a strange dream I just had," she said, stretching. Alice looked out of the window. Just then, her eye caught the finished snowman. It was wearing a familiar hat, holding a cup of tea. Alice frowned. Perhaps it hadn't been a dream after all. The end. Grace, how many times do we have to go over this? You can't have my ramen. It is mine. You cannot have it. You cannot have the cheese that I'm going to put in it to make it into mac and cheese. You cannot have. She doesn't believe me. My ramen. You don't eat it. Pip, we've been over this. It's Mommy's food. I don't care if you like noodles and cheese. Mommy's.